So you did everything you were supposed to do, right? You went to school, got the degree, landed that good job. You followed the script to a T. So why does it feel like you're just stuck on a financial treadmill and someone keeps cranking up the speed?
You know that feeling. The paycheck hits your account, and for a split second, you feel like you can breathe. But then, the mortgage, the car payment, the student loans, they all come calling. And by the end of the week, it feels like that money just vanished. Let me tell you, you are not crazy for feeling this way. Because according to the analysis we're about to break down, the problem isn't you, it's the system. You're actually caught in a financial trap, and it has a name, the middle class. And the whole idea here is that this isn't a goal you should be aiming for, it's a trap you need to escape. All right, let's get into it.
First things first, we're going to look at the numbers. Because, numbers don't lie. We've all heard that myth, right? If you just make 6 figures, you've made it. But the truth is, for a lot of people, that middle-class dream is now mathematically impossible.
Just look at this. Back in 1980, the average home cost about twice the average income. It was tough, but it was doable. Now, fast forward to today, that same home costs nearly 6 times the median income. The price of admission to the middle class has just gone through the roof.
And this chart just lays it all out there, doesn't it? The cost of that core piece of the American dream, the house, has more than doubled in terms of how much of your life you have to trade for it. But salaries? Nope, they haven't kept up. So, how are people supposed to bridge that gap?
Well, here's the answer. Debt. That's the secret sauce. The system sells you a lifestyle that you can't actually afford with your income, so you're forced to borrow from your future self just to pay for your comfort today. You're basically trying to live out a dream from a totally different era, but with today's insane prices. The math just doesn't work.
But look, it's not just about the big external economic forces. There's also a powerful psychological trap that keeps people stuck, even when their income does start to go up. It's something called lifestyle creep. And this is the really sneaky part. As you start to earn more, your spending habits change almost without you noticing. You get that raise, and instead of investing it, what's the first thought? Hey, what new monthly payments can I afford now? That right there is the heart of the scam.
This really breaks it down perfectly. When you're poor, every dollar goes towards survival. When you're rich, your money goes towards buying assets, things that make you more money. But the middle class? Well, you're stuck in this weird middle ground where most of your extra income goes to buying status. The newer car, the bigger house, that fancy vacation you post on Instagram.
I want you to really let this one sink in. It completely changes how you should think about wealth. It's not about how much you can spend, it's about how much you own. That beautiful suburban neighborhood you drive through, for the most part, that isn't wealth you're seeing. It's debt. It's families living just one layoff away from losing everything. And that brings us to the really systemic part of this whole trap. The actual rules of the financial game, especially when it comes to taxes and assets, are fundamentally different for employees versus owners. That safe path of being a traditional employee, well, it's often the most expensive path you can possibly take. Just look at how the money flows. As a regular employee, you earn your money, the government immediately takes its cut off the top, and then you get to spend whatever is left. But for a business owner, the order is completely flipped. They earn, then they spend on business expenses, which are write-offs, and they're only taxed on what's left over at the very end. That's a huge, huge structural disadvantage for the earner. We're all taught that buying a house is the cornerstone of building wealth, but for most people, it's actually a liability. It's a constant drain on your money for interest, taxes, insurance, and repairs. True wealth isn't about having a big house. It's about having a big portfolio of assets that actually pay you. Okay, so that's the trap. It's mathematical, it's psychological, and it's systemic. I know, it sounds pretty bleak. But just hearing about the problem isn't enough. The most important part of this whole explainer is the actionable plan you can use to opt out of this game. So here it is, a 3-step plan. Step 1, you have to redefine comfort. Stop trying to keep up with your neighbors. They're probably drowning in debt anyway. The only goal is to make the gap between what you earn and what you spend as wide as possible. Next, step 2. Stop buying liabilities. Seriously, that new car isn't impressing anyone. It's just a black hole for your future wealth. A good rule of thumb, if you can't buy it twice, in cash, you can't afford it. And finally, step 3, and this is the big one, become an owner. You cannot save your way to financial freedom. You have to own a piece of the economy.
When you boil it all down, the idea of the middle class was created for a totally different economic time. Trying to follow that old script today is just a recipe for burnout. The system is designed for you to be a good little consumer and a reliable debtor, but you always have the choice to play a different game.
Now look, it's not easy, and it can feel pretty lonely when your friends don't get why you're making different choices. But achieving financial independence? That's the ultimate prize. So I want to leave you with this question. What do you think is the biggest middle-class trap people waste their money on? Is it cars? Over-the-top weddings? Let us know what you think in the comments.